Hello everyone, I'm Heather. I'm back with what I hope will be a quick video. I don't really have a whole hell of a lot to say, so hopefully it'll be quick. But basically, I just wanted to have a rundown chat with y'all about all of the books I have found in lockdown, either free or way too cheap to pass up, really. So a lot of the books that I have, I don't really know anything about. Like some of them, I've literally never heard of them before I found them for free or whatever. And I feel like I need lots of input from everyone, as much input as possible. Like if you know about these, or you know somebody who said something, or like whatever, any input you can give me, literally at all. So the first pile is ones I got for free from various lockdown libraries throughout my city. So in Cardiff, I feel like relatively fortunate in that I live in the city. You know, I don't live like in a suburb off somewhere, you know, where we have to drive to everything. Like we walk everywhere, we walk to the city centre and everything. And there's quite a lot of people living around us. So there's a lot of these like abandoned phone booths, you know, like I think that people just left them there. Like some of them are like the really old, like red kind, you know, like the sort of stereotypical British red phone booth thing, and some of them are just like the nasty like 1980s ones that are just still dotted around everywhere, but none of them really have a working phone anymore. It's just sort of left over the booth. So people in lockdown, now that the libraries are closed and the bookstores are closed and stuff, they've been turning them into lockdown libraries. So basically like a book swap where you like bring a book or a couple books or whatever and you take which ones you like. Anyway, so my pile from these places, like I'll go there, so I generally go to these book hut things because I want to get rid of books. Do you know what I mean? Like I've read a couple, and now that I can't give things, I used to give loads of my books to the Greyhound Rescue so that they could sell them in their charity shops, you know. But now that none of those things are open in lockdown, I'm like just piling up books, like all these books that I've read. I'm not going to read them again. They're pretty good, but I don't like, you know, love the absolute shit out of them. Like I don't want them in my house, and I just feel like I need to divest myself of like dead weight. So I've been using the lockdown libraries mainly for that. But if I go there and I'm bringing loads of books anyway, I might as well get something else, even if I've, you know, never heard of that book. Why the hell not? So the first one is called Raising Fire by James Bennett, and basically I just like the cover of it. It says content warning, here be dragons. That's pretty good. This is no fairy tale, it says, and also it says for people who like, oh wait, where'd it go? Oh yeah, for fans of Ben Aronovich. So that's like the Rivers of London books that I like. So I thought publishers are always lying and always saying that a book is like a popular book when it's not, you know, and it's possible that they're doing it here now, but why not? I know nothing about this except that life isn't treating Red Ben well. He's lost everything he held dear, including the love of his life. Still, at least he escaped the clutches of a malevolent spirit bent on total destruction. So there it is. Now Ben just wants to drink and forget and drink some more, but he can't. Not yet. I can understand. I can understand that sentiment completely. So anyone read this one? Anyone know anything about this? Please, your input would be really good. The next one is another random one. Does anyone watch Aziz Ansari? I can't think of the name of the TV show that he was in that I was watching, but he's pretty funny. He's a comedian, and he was like in this Netflix show or something like that. Like, I'll find the answer to this and sort of put it up somewhere. But it's pretty funny. I quite like him generally. So I saw this one called Modern Romance and Investigation by Aziz Ansari and some other guy, I don't know, Eric Kleinenberg or something. So the idea of this, I think, is that it's like a non-fiction examination of modern romance and dating and things like that. As texting turned us into the flakiest generation, what does it mean to have a 24/7 singles bar in your pocket? And why are the French so relaxed about infidelity? And sort of like, it just looks like generally non-fiction hilarity and also full of insight. So anyone read this one? Anyone know anything about this one? Because I feel like I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so the next one is Spies of the Balkans by Alan First. And I remember this book in my mind from some point in the past. And I think I got it from my dad at some point or something because somebody said it was something that he might like. And I think he said it was okay, but I've never read it. And I feel like I only have like this vague idea in my mind left of it. But I quite like things like this, you know, like espionage and like World War II type stuff. And I love the Balkans, so, you know, why not give it a go? Salonika 1940, ancient port, dark alleys, brothels, Turkish mansions, blah, blah. Bulgarian border, German secret agent is at work. Costa Zanis is a man in demand. Once a detective, he now handles Salonika's political cases, exploiting his contacts high and low in the Balkans and beyond. Like, I'm just into it. Has anybody read this? Does anyone know anything about Alan First or like this book or any of his books like it? Because I think he's done a couple of these. Anyway, anyone know anything? Let me know. Okay, next one is Blackberry Wine by Joanne Harris, and it says down the bottom, author of Chocolat, which I loved. So I literally know nothing about this book. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't know anything else by Joanne Harris. I only know about Chocolat, and it was fantastic, so why not? Okay, it looks like it takes place in France, a French village. A ghost of the past waits to confront this guy. The reclusive Maurice, haunted, lovely, and dangerous, hides a terrible secret behind her closed shutters. Between them, a mysterious chemistry. Or could it be magic? Okay, that sounds pretty good to me. Has anyone read this? Anyone know anything about this? Let me know, let me know. Next one. Okay, so I found two of these ones. So this is the second one. This is a Poldark book. This is the second one in the series. I found this one and the first one, which I can't find now. I read it and it's gone now. Did I give it back to the book hut? I don't know, like I can't remember where it's gone. But anyway, I haven't read the second one yet, but I'm like into it. I'm down. I'm gonna read the second one. Does anyone know anything about the Poldark books? Like, is the whole series pretty good, or does it like peter off, like fizzle, like the first one, or like first one or two, blah blah blah, are pretty good, and then like the ones sort of immediately afterwards start to get a bit shit, you know, like series that do that. If anyone's read these, please let me know. Basically the idea is it's like late 18th century, sort of late 1700s-ish in Cornwall, and Poldark is a guy who's like gone to war in America for the English losing side, and he's come back home and found that his dad is dead, and like his inheritance is withering, like the land and like his like mine and his house and his like family and everything, they're all like withering away, and he's got to sort of work to get that stuff back, you know. He's got to make the mine profitable again, he's got to like make the house and the farm and everything profitable again, and he meets a girl who's like starved and sort of beaten in a terrible position, makes her his maid, and then a couple of years later he falls in love with her and marries her. So like the romance is really cute and everything, and also like the struggles and like the scene in Cornwall and everything is really good. So I really like the first one, and I'm hoping the rest of them will be good as well, but if anyone knows, let me know, let me know. Okay, so the last one that I found in the huts, like the book huts, photo booth or phone booth things, for free, is Rat Burger by David Walliams. I was a little bit sleeping on David Walliams, I think. It's for kids, so wait. Can you see? Okay. It sort of reminds me a bit of Roald Dahl, a bit, sort of like, not just the illustrations and everything, but what happens in them. Like, in the books it's a bit silly and everything's a bit like, you know, a bit wacky, and like various words are invented, you know, like silly words and sort of stuff like that. It's like Roald Dahl, but a modern sort of version. And then my kid, she really likes them. She thinks they're really good, these like David Walliams ones. The dust jacket for this book is gone. So I imagine on the back part of the dust jacket it would say what this book is about, but because we don't have that, we don't know. So we're just basically gonna go into it completely blind, is what I think. Like, I could Google it, but who has got the time, you know? Literally nothing about this one. Has anyone read this? Has anyone's kid read this? Does anyone know anything about Rat Burger at all? Because I got literally nothing. Okay, so my next stack, just going quickly. I don't know, if you live in the UK, you know about W.H. Smith. If you don't, let me enlighten you. W.H. Smith is basically a place that sells magazines and newspapers and stationery and stuff like this. So it also sells books, but that's not its shtick. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just sort of also sells books. It's not really a bookstore. It's more like, you know, newspapers and stationery. So it's not a place I used to really go to get books, especially because the kind of books that they sell there, like there's not as many, so they have to sort of stick to a certain kind. And it's sort of like airport books, do you know what I mean? Like, which I have nothing against. I love me a good airport book, but it's like ones that are, you know, sort of Patterson thrillers and sort of things like this, like really popular, like sort of, you know, page turner type ones that you're only really going to be interested in, you know, if you're like on a journey, or like, you know, I don't know, as if you've gone in to get a book as an afterthought, like you've got to get a newspaper and a pen, but oh look, this new Patterson thriller, like sort of like that. Anyway, the bookstores that are like proper bookstores that sell actual books are all closed in the lockdown because they're non-essential. But WH Smith has sort of, because of their relationship with the post office, like Royal Mail things, they've been allowed to stay open because they're the post office. So once I realized that the one in town, like the city centre, WH Smith, still has a load of books that they're selling, I've been in there nearly every day, like not even, you know, not just to look around, just to sort of see what's going on in there, you know, just to visit the books, like have like a bit of normalcy, sort of browsing amongst the books. Anyway, I have this section in WH Smith of like £2, £3 books. They cost, you know, almost nothing. Sometimes you can get a book that costs just £1. So I'm addicted to that section now, and I just go in there and see, you know, what's to do, what can I find? So I found loads of books that I hadn't really heard of before, or ones that were sort of randomly mentioned in passing, blah, blah. Because they were so cheap, I just got them, like, why not? So also, I need people's input on these particular ones as well, because I don't know anything about them. I just had them really cheap on like a whim to go into WH Smith to just have a walk around. So the first one is The Dressmaker by Rosalie Ham. So this was a movie, wasn't it? With this lovely lady whose name, oh, Kate Winslet. But I've heard this book is really good as well. It's sort of about this girl who lives in Australia, and she has to leave for some reason, like under bad circumstances. I don't really remember anything about that. But then she sort of goes and gets rich and like enters this fashion world and gets really sophisticated, and then comes back to this like Australian town that hates her or whatever, and she's got to sort of get on. So that's all I know about this one. Does anyone know anything about this one? Have you read it? Do you like it? Let me know. Next one is The Windup Girl by Paolo Bacigalupi. I'm not even gonna try to say that again. So anyone knows how to say that? Anyone that has read this book, please let me know, because apparently it's like I've heard somebody say that it was quite good, but I can't remember where I heard anyone say that, and I can't remember anything particular about the book. Anderson Lake is a company man, AgriGen's calorie representative in Thailand. Undercover as a factory manager, he combs Bangkok street markets in search of foodstuffs long thought to be extinct. There he meets the Windup Girl, the beautiful and enigmatic Emiko, now abandoned to the slums. She's one of the new people, bred to suit the whims of the rich. Engineered as slaves, soldiers and toys, they are the new underclass in a chilling near future where oil has run out. Calorie companies dominate nations, and bioengineered plagues now run rampant across the globe. I think that looks really good, and I feel like I'm enough recovered from my like plague situation, like emotionally, that I can pick up like near future dystopian plague books once again. Like, I mean, we'll venture in slowly, shall we? You know, not to get too much too fast, but I think I'm ready. If anyone knows anything about that, let me know. Okay, next one. Maya Angelou, I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings, and obviously with everything sort of going on with Black Lives Matter and everything, I've been trying to ramp up my sort of Black authors and Black publishers list to try to sort of just get more into it and read more of that sort of thing. And this has been on my list for ages. It's on the Great American Reads list, sort of that list of 100 like favorite books of Americans or whatever. So it's already been on my list for a while, but I haven't really had the chance to get to it. I've been working sort of slowly through the list. Anyone Does anyone love this book? I think I'm probably going to get loads of people who love this book, right? Like, everyone who reads it says that they love it. But let me know. Loving the world, she also knows its cruelty. As a Black woman, she has known discrimination and extreme poverty, but also hope and joy, achievement and celebration. In this first volume of her autobiography, Maya Angelou beautifully evokes her childhood with her grandmother in the American South in the 1930s. She learns the power of the white folks at the other end of town and suffers the terrible trauma of rape by her mother's lover. What? Let me know. Okay. Next one is this by Chris Redell called Ottiline and the Purple Fox. And it was super cheap, and I just thought, oh, my kid, you know, might quite like that. Wait, let me see. You know, it's like cute. And Chris Redell is a really good illustrator. I follow him on Instagram. I love his illustrations. He illustrates quite a lot of like the illustrated versions of... He illustrates quite a lot of the illustrated versions of Neil Gaiman's books. And I just love them. But I didn't know that he also writes books. He doesn't just illustrate them. He also has books that he's written. And they're a series. So these Ottiline ones, and also a similar sort of series called Goth Girl. And I read a bit with my kid, and she's loving it. She loves this. So now I think we've got a new series that we can read together. There's loads of these. I think there's 4 or something. 4 of these at the minute. So I'll just keep going to W.H. Smith and get in the next one whenever we finish. We're liking it. It's cute. Okay. Last but not least is this one. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. So Sean at Past Story Time, she was saying that this one was really good, and she, like her sort of report about this one is what made me want to read another one of Grady Hendrix that just came out called The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires or something like that. Like, I'll put it up somewhere. I read that one recently and it was really good. I really liked it. Like, I'm not really into horror books so much, but I like ones that are sort of like just on the cusp, you know, not like terrifying, but you know, like a bit of a like a scary angle-ish. Like, I really like this one. Edgar Cantero or something wrote Meddling Kids. That was officially horror as well, but I really, really liked that one. It wasn't so scary that it like gave me nightmares or whatever, you know, it was just like unsettling scary, you know. Anyway, I really liked the other one of Grady Hendrix, so now I've decided that since I've seen this super cheap at W.H. Smith, I'm going to give this one a go as well, since it was the sort of original one of that. I don't really know anything about it except for the obvious in the title, which is My Best Friend's Exorcism. There's obviously some sort of like, you know, demon taking over a body and some sort of exorcism or whatever. But I also love this cover of this book. It's just really 80s and amazing. Okay, so that is like my massive book haul for lockdown of like free and super cheap books that I know nothing about. So anyone that knows anything about them, if you like them or didn't like them or just anything at all, please let me know. This is my call for help about which books to read soon or potentially get rid of. I could just easily send them back to the book hut if I maybe think that I'm not gonna like them. So let me know. I desperately need your help. Right, thank you for watching, and until next time, love you, bye!